What I like about President Trump is he's honest, open, and candid about his policies. President Trump says what he means, and also he doesn't want to hide and seek about it. He has turned the US into an empire. America First means Donroe Doctrine. It is the modern version of Monroe Doctrine of 1823. President Trump picked up, rather kidnapped, Venezuelan President Maduro and said, America comes first. American security comes first. American economic interest comes first. And he has shown the world what he can do. And he has also shown the world that you can't do business without me. By all these tax policies, he has proven to the world that, hey, be careful before you criticize. You can't do anything without me, without US. So now, US and Trump are synonymous terms because Donald Trump has said that international law is irrelevant when it comes to his personal morality. Personal morality should be the judge for American policies, regardless of international laws. International law is a melting pot of international morality, where various nations have to sacrifice their own national moral understanding for the sake of living together, where we are not pushed back to imperialist times. But President Trump doesn't want to believe in that because he believes that to keep American dominance in the world, America comes first means American empire, and you can't do without America. That's what he means. And we, as the people of the world, have to digest that. It is better to deal with a person who is open board about his policies, so that other imperialist powers can become imperialists. And they will now make policies where they can show middle finger to international laws. That's what the US president wants, I guess. Because Russia now and China, they have all the reasons to show middle finger to the international laws. Because they can say, for example, China can say, I will take over Taiwan. You can do nothing about it. And President Putin will be able to say, well, I will devour the entire Ukraine and I will pick up Zelensky. You can do nothing about it when it comes to international laws. And Europe is scared because Europe doesn't want to lose US. Europe is on the verge of collapse when it comes to international policies and laws and balance. Because if America takes Greenland by force and European Union and other NATO countries simply watch a part of Europe devoured by the US, it will prove how weak European powers are. And this will diminish European influence on the rest of the world. Europe will become more reliant on American minerals, will become more reliant on US oil, and it will become more reliant on European American cooperation. Russia will become more forceful on Europe because they will know that Europe is without the backup of the US if US and Europe fall out regarding Greenland. So Europe has no choice. Europe has no choice but to become a poodle of the US. But will the European pride allow that? That's another thing to watch. But when it comes to imperialist powers, so we can see that like the previous empires, now Russian Empire, China, well, it is an economic empire. India, which wants to, take over other southern Asian countries, politically, economically, they can now form alliances, stronger alliances, so that at least America doesn't come and meddle in Asia and Africa. But there is a stabbing point here. That stabbing point is the ensuing alliance of Pakistan, the nuclear power, Saudi Arabia, the money power, and Turkey, the NATO power, to form Muslim alliance so that they can create a buffer zone. And if they can successfully create a buffer zone, then they will gain from it economically, politically, but the world will be ever trapped in a serious arms race like never before. The fallout is here for Iran. Iran didn't reform. Iranian mullahs thought they will be there forever and there is no way a toppled power will come back. But this is what is happening. Muhammad Shah Pahlavi's son, Reza Pahlavi, is now at the helm. He's the driving force to topple and to take revenge against the mullahs, though he's a sweet talker. So I believe that the world is heading towards a never-ending imperialist world, imperialist time, where the world will be divided into big regions of imperialist powers. Like Africa was once cut into many pieces by European powers, the world will be cut into various regions according to imperialist powers. And then the little countries, the smaller nations, will have nothing to say, no say whatsoever. So the quicker the imperialist powers form alliances, the quicker we will see diminishing of smaller nations and their so-called sovereignties. These smaller nations were never sovereign anyway, as I think, because the 5 superpowers, the 5 veto powers, were always the only dominant sovereign nations of the world. The rest were only sovereign by namesake. So it's about time that we will see so-called imperialist, powers will form alliances, and they will be open about it, and they will get rid of so-called sovereignties of smaller powers. They will just simply become small nations with no powers but to remain allegiant to the imperialist power dominant on them. That's all. Time is over for smaller nations and their so-called sovereignty. It's gone. Gone. It's not coming back.